Hello, this is my reflection of the first presentation given on Saturday, the 24th, by Dr. Kiran Lata Dangwal, and it's called Balancing Thoughts in Digital Age. I have chosen this presentation in this session because I was really curious what can we do to balance our thoughts in this digital age, meaning in this fast-paced digital era where connectivity is constant and there are so many information. We live in this technologically driven society, and I think that it disturbs our mental health. So I was really curious what is there to do to help ourselves. So, digital era is the abundance of information and constant connectivity, and it can all lead to overthinking, which I have already experienced. And thinking is not bad, it's essential mental activity, but overthinking is a phenomenon when we repeatedly think over a situation or a problem or an issue, and it causes anxiety and high pressure. So overthinking is when we live our lives excessively on thought, and it leads to fatigue, indecision, feeling of being overwhelmed. And overthinking lessens the quality of our lives. It consumes valuable time and energy and disables us to take proper actions and decisions. There are various forms of overthinking, such as rumination. It's repeatedly thinking about past events or mistakes. It brings negative thoughts, and we might get caught in feeling of guilt and regret and sadness. Then it's catastrophizing when we imagine the worst possible outcomes and scenarios for situations, and we often exaggerate, expecting disasters. And these negative thoughts and pessimism can lead also to anxiety and unnecessary worries. Then it's analysis and paralysis. It's when we get stuck in analyzing, over-analyzing a decision, and we become inactive. So every choice that we want to choose seems wrong. Then mind reading is also a form of overthinking when we presume or make presumptions what other people think. So it often leads to misunderstanding and unnecessary worries. Perfectionism is worrying that our performance won't be good enough. We have high expectations, and it also leads to stress. Future tripping is excessive planning and worrying about future actions. Then rehearsing conversations is when we talk to ourselves all the time, also analyzing, thinking constant thoughts, and it also leads to anxiety. Regretting about the past, it's regret about missed opportunities, chances, and it also brings feelings of sadness and guilt. Then self-doubt is constantly questioning our capabilities, if we can do this or not, and also it creates feeling of insecurity. And then what we should do, is there anything we can do? Of course, there is mindfulness. Mindfulness is not about introspecting passively. Mindfulness is conscious, deliberate practice, and by it we can reclaim a control and sovereignty over our thoughts and minds. And how can we do it? Well, number one is awareness of digital overload. We have to recognize overwhelming amount of content and intentionally disconnect. We can set boundaries or time limits that we spend on social networks. Then non-judgmental observation is that we have to become aware of our feelings that are produce or results of excessive amount of time on the internet and social media. Then deep listening is when we pay attention to conversation in our head, but also when we are paying attention to what other people are saying to us when we sit with them and speak. Balancing digital engagement. Then nature connection is also very important, that we stop doing what we do and take mindful walk in the nature. Digital detox, it means that we have to disconnect and recharge from all the technology. And if we are parents, we have a duty to teach children about mindfulness and to create technology free zones in our house. And the second session that I participated, but only not live, but record. I watched the recording. Is role playing with AI language text games by Dr. Doris Molero, which was very useful, and I learned a lot. I also chose this one because I already participate in Dr. Doris Molero's sessions, and she's always very useful and very interesting. So learning a language is like opening a door, she says, to a whole new world, and AI roleplay can be the key that unlocks that door. I really like that statement of hers. Um, well, what is in AI roleplay for language learners? Of course, language practice, because engaging in conversations with AI characters provides language practice in a natural and interactive way, and our learners are going to like it. Then second is contextual learning, because our students can practice language in the context by immersing into different scenarios and conversations. Three is personalized learning, because AI-driven role-playing can be adapted to the proficiency level and learning goals of individual learners. And also, which is very important, low-pressure environment, because role-playing with AI offers a low-pressure environment, allowing learners to experiment with language without fear that they are going to embarrass themselves or be judged. Then she offered some text-based games. I really liked 21 questions. So, for example, you write to AI, I think of an object, and you ask yes or no questions at the time, trying to figure out what I'm thinking about. And then the student makes conversation with AI, also practices vocabulary, short answers, and so on. Then guessing game. Um, a player is a student and another player is a machine, and the student has to ask questions to guess what object is AI machine thinking of. Spot the difference. It's about reading and spotting the differences in two similar texts. And storytelling is something that I really like. So the player, who is the student, take turns adding sentences with machine, adding sentences, and then they create a collaborative story. We can also choose the level of English, and interactive scenarios are also very engaging and simulated conversations. We also have to find, I don't really know where to find the prompts, and I would really like to be given links to those prompts that Doris Molero used in her presentation. But it was really inspiring, and for sure I'm going to use a majority of games that she proposed. And that's it. Thank you.